Archie Bunker, and they did some skit bantering back and forth. It was very cute. We've had Ariana Grande. Last year we had Britney Spears, and oh gosh, he was the winner of the event. We give out 2 awards, one for the dude who raises the most money, both that night and prior to the event. And a lot of the dudes have mini events before our night, so they come to the event with some.
So they have like sponsors.
Yes.
So like when you do the walkathons and you get sponsors for you. That sounds like fun. And how much are the tickets for that?
Tickets are $75 each. Sponsorship information and ticket purchase can be found on our website, womenscenter.net, or call 242-3110, extension 2303. That'll get you Jen Gould, who is our development person, and funds and awareness is raised to eliminate domestic violence and its effects in Brevard County. And the effects, as I said, are devastating. Every 2 minutes in America, someone is sexually assaulted. A woman is beaten every 15 seconds by an intimate partner, and it affects every age, race, culture, gender, and is found at every socioeconomic level. So this truly is an issue that affects us all.
You were saying, too, that there were 4,000 domestic abuse cases a year here in Brevard County. Did anyone ever have a guess at what percentage of that? Is it twice as many that don't call in, or do they have any idea?
I think that's a age-old problem, that we really don't have a good estimate because both sexual assault and domestic violence are very underreported. Mm-hmm. And in fact, crimes against women are the most underreported in the world. And so I don't think we have, my personal guess would be that it's twice as much. As many that report, there is as many who do not report. That would be my guess.
Well, there are so many other events coming up. What about the other event that you have? What is it called? Boots Bandits?
Boots and Bandits. This is an event in our Titusville location, September 30th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. There's going to be it's held at Schuler's Auction House, which is right next to our facility. So they're at 422 Julia Street. Tickets are $25. Sponsorship is still available. It'll be a fun night with Western attire, barbecue, live country music, line dancing, square dancing, campfire s'mores, and much more. Again, to raise funds.
A lot of money on that. You have other people also donate funds, and that's just a part of your sources. Your income sources is the couple of the events that come up. But you have other ways that people can participate.
Yes, we love volunteers at the Women's Center, and we ask them, the community, to support the Women's Center with their time, their treasure, or their talent. We certainly love our in-person volunteers who do the sweat equity or answer the phones, and we train you in whatever program you're in, but also treasure. Businesses have adopted the Women's Center and collected funds or collected diapers or done a food drive or various things to help us. People will donate meals. We've had restaurants that have donated meals for Thanksgiving or Christmas for our transitional housing clients. So we say your time, your talent, or your treasure. We love personal donations from the smallest to the largest. As you know, donations across the board are down in the last many years, probably since 2008. We don't get as many individual donations. Also, the government funding and other sources of funding are much down. So we struggle, and we're proud to say we've never had to reduce the services. We have had to let go staff in order not to reduce services. So many of us staff wear many hats. My title, Director of Programs, means I oversee everything.
Well, that's a situation I can relate to.
Many hats.
Similarly,
many
headed.
hats, John.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the questions I have is, as far as who does it serve? I mean, you had mentioned women, and you'd mentioned the poverty level. Is it broader than that, or
yes.
is there a definition?
No. Depending on our program, we serve about 10% of our clients are men. Mm-hmm. Certain of our programs are for women and children only, like our transitional safe housing is only for women and children. We have 13 apartments, as I said, 12 are two-bedroom apartments. One is an efficiency for a single woman. But by grant, it requires it to be women and with children for all the other ones. But our victim services program, because men are victims as well, and elderly are victim, and children are victims. So we serve all ages. About 10% of our clients in the counseling program, 10 to 15% are men in the counseling program, probably 10 or 12% in the victim services program.
As it pertains to real estate, and again, just because that's part of what we do, although it's great that we're putting this information out there, and that is what this show tries to do, is put out information not strictly on real estate, but on all things that affect those of us living in Brevard and really everywhere. But as it pertains to real estate, do you find, I guess the victims can be sometimes married, sometimes just living together couples, sometimes owning a house, sometimes not? Is there a real estate aspect to this where somebody is now homeless because of a separation or something to that effect?
In America, about 50% of domestic violence, of homeless people are fleeing domestic violence. Wow. So we see that connection very strongly. In terms of the clients that come to us, it runs the whole gamut. We have, because it affects every socioeconomic level, we have people that are fleeing their own home that they have a mortgage on because their partner, whether married or unmarried, is assaulting them. Or we have people who are in apartments. We have people that are couch surfing and have not had their own place to live for a while. The Transitional Safe Housing Program requires that they have some domestic violence, or not domestic violence, but some interpersonal violence history to be qualified for the program. So it's not just a homelessness program. They have that piece as well. But that may be a while back. They may have had a domestic violence incident that led to a sort of ripple effect, and they've never quite recovered, never found their own home, never been able to put down a down payment. We have partnered with programs that help people get into their first-time homes after they graduate. What's great about the transitional safe housing is that someone can come from a shelter or from a couch, or we've had people from their cars, living in their cars with children. This program is so resource intensive and staff intensive to assist somebody to really make real changes. It's only 13 apartments, so we don't have this, very big, sexy number to say we serve, but those people really affect change so that when they complete the full 2-year program, close to 100% are permanently off the homelessness rolls.
Oh, that's great.
So these children are going to school with fuller bellies and better able to concentrate. They're more successful in schools. They don't get into other things as teenagers, like resources for money that might be illegal. These are whole lives, whole families who affect change so that they're more stable.
Now, you say there's the 13 apartments. Is there a waiting list for that? I mean, would it be beneficial, and would you be able to handle more if some of the people in our audience were in a position to make donations or make apartments available or things like that? Again,
Absolutely.
We deal in real estate and
we
often have investors
13
and such.
apartments, but if we had other resources, especially in Titusville, where we do not have a transitional safe housing program, all our apartments are in South County, so we don't have the program in Titusville. But even here, there are several things. One, to have other homes, apartments, not just a room in a house, but to have an apartment, because these are women with families who want to create a whole life for themselves. So not just a room in a house, but if somebody has an apartment to donate or a house to donate, or even to lean to us for a year. We actually have a safe house that we use for emergencies when our shelters are full. Sometimes in Brevard County, all 3 shelters are full and you have a family in imminent danger. We had, I won't say where, but one of the towns gave us a house, and we pay $1 a year for that house. And we had a Girl Scout actually who cleaned it up, painted it, collected kitchen items. And so that's sort of a quick, we need somebody for a night or two while we wait for a bed to open in a shelter or for them to apply for the transitional housing. But so you'll have people entering transitional housing from a shelter or from a homeless situation. They get to a self-sufficient place, but they may also be needing to continue that growth. And so having some lower cost housing opportunities, even when they exit that, rents are very high in Brevard County. So our program does charge rent to these women. They pay their electric bill. They do pay rent. It's not a free housing situation because we don't want to set them up for failure when they get out in 2 years. And we raise the rent every 6 months. We do 6-month leases. So at the end of the 2 years, they're a little closer to real world, but they're not at real world. And the shock of having to find a place for them and their family that's safe and low cost is very difficult. So if anybody has any ideas for that, where they'll be more on their own, they're in better shape, they've gotten a better job, or they've gotten educated, but they need that next piece, that would be great.
Let's talk about your counseling, because you provide counseling for these families and women because it's a perpetual thing.
Absolutely.
That the children will see, and they will continue to do it if that doesn't stop. You have to stop the violence, and you have to get the counseling to find out why these people are doing it. And as we've talked before, it's not always anger issues that you would think.
No, domestic violence at the core is power and control. So the perpetrator is all about having power and control over another individual. They sometimes resort to extreme physical violence, and those are the ones you hear about on the news. But sometimes it's more subtle control and more subtle physical behaviors. Yeah. And oftentimes the physical nature of domestic violence happens early on in the relationship, and then after that, they don't have to because they know they got her. They may set up dependency. They isolate. Oftentimes early in these relationships, they seem so charming, so loving, but there's a high level of jealousy. They sometimes seem very, very charming, and they isolate her and get her dependent on them. Recently, I had someone who had her own car paid off, and he convinced her that the family needed a bigger car. He got a van, put it only in his name. When the violence started, and there had not been violence for a year of dating, and then it started when they were living together, she had to flee without a car now. So there's often this dependency set up for them that they then have to overcome, which is where the transitional housing helps.
So the woman as well as her children can come in for counseling.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Women and children in the transitional housing program get free counseling, and any woman or man who is a victim of any kind of interpersonal violence or really any kind of crime. We've had bank tellers who were robbed. We've had people who have been burglared who were traumatized and needed some counseling. That's free of charge. Other counseling is on a sliding scale basis, so we make it very affordable.
Give out your contact information again, Dr. Susan Kiley, and she's with the Women's Center in Melbourne, and they also have a location in Titusville. And jot down these numbers.
Please. The Women's Center hotline for domestic violence is 607-6809. The sexual assault helpline, 24/7, both of these numbers are 321-784-HELP or 4357. The Women's Center office number, we're open Monday through Friday, is 242-3110 in Melbourne and 607-6811 in Titusville. The website, again, is www.womencenter.net. Please join us in helping this cause.
And the point is, if you're in at the middle of the night, if you don't have those numbers, can they just call 911 and leave, and someone will, and the 911 people can help them as well?
That's correct. That's correct.
Great information. We really appreciate you joining us. Thank you, Jonathan, also for your input.
Always a pleasure, and as we said before the show, it goes so fast.
I hope that your resources, both of you, jump out of their seat and give us a call.
Yes,
so thank you for that.
Don't forget to check out the Boots and Bandits and also Dudes Look Like a Lady on their website. Buy those tickets. That's a good way to get involved with the Women's Center. Thank you very much again, Susan Kiley. And as always, you can go to our website at yourhometownsolutions.com to get more information. And please tune in again next Monday at 1 o'clock for another show.